topic, as you can see, the role of universal banking in avoiding volatility and uncertainty in banking sector. This is done with my guide, Dr. Chaya Bagrecha, and I'm pursuing my PhD from Jain University itself. The objectives for my research were to trace the growth and technological development in Indian banking sector, to understand the ways in which commercial banks are responding to increasing competition by bringing in technological advancement in their operations, and the third one is to study the role of universal banking as a strategy to cater to the changing needs of customer in this environment. Now, a little link between the demographics and banking. Now, demographics, we can see that there are rapid changes in the technological, economic, social, demographic and regulatory environments. And this has led to the financial institutions to evolve their strategies for gaining competitive advantage. The growth of financial sector around the world depends on some crucial factors, and those factors are globalization, regulatory compliance, risk management, technological innovation and demographics. The changing demographic profile, as we have seen and we are seeing, has compelled the banks to develop specialized products and services for serving the older generation. The concept of universal banking has also become an established trend. Some trends like investment banking, private banking and bank insurance, we can see are one of the most profitable and fastest growing segments of the banking sector. The current status and development of Indian banking sector. In December 1969, there were just 8,800 plus scheduled commercial banks, and then we can see this number rose to 59,000 plus in 1990. That again rose to 1 lakh plus in March 2013. Out of these, if we can see, the 63% of the figure of 1 lakh 2,000 are, most of them are the rural banks and the semi-rural banks. According to Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana, a little more than 127 million new bank accounts have been opened since this new policy was opened, the scheme was launched in 2014. The technological development in banking, we can say that there's a drastic change that has happened. Terrifically, these changes are happening in the banking sector. Multiple changes, and then this has led to upgradation of technology, innovation and modernization, which again becomes the key factors. Now, there's a need for the banks to differentiate their products. Now these products are what we are referring to as the services, which again, while we see that all the banks are competing with each other, and the focus area over here becomes the technology. And this technology, we can refer to the fully computerized branches of the banks, the core banking solution, the NEFT, that is electronic funds transfer, mobile banking and ATMs. Fully computerized branches. According to the RBI annual report, that is 2009-10, we have seen the increase from the year 2007, that is 85.6%, to the year 2010, it rose to 97%. Electronic funds transfer, again, if we just talked about what electronic funds transfer is, that's again a banking facility or a function that facilitates the customers to transfer the funds from any branch of their bank to any other branch, and that is again possible at the minimum of the time or the shortest time available. And the EFT again presently covers the branches, 27 public sector banks and 55 scheduled commercial banks at the 15 centers across India. Some of the core banking solutions, again, which is available. Now, when we talk about core banking solutions, that's again a networking facility which is available for the entire bank operations, wherein the entire bank's operations are controlled from a centralized hub and centralized customer database, which makes again anytime, anywhere banking available for the customers. Branches again increased, which are offering these core banking services from 79.4% in the year 2009 to 90% at the end of the year 2010. Then we have the automated teller machines. We all know the benefits of ATMs, the withdrawal of the cash.
Can you directly come to your findings?
Yes, ma'am. And then the next technology is the mobile banking, which again we can see the 4G technology has again given a lot of boost to it, and this will again help in acquiring the customers in the rural areas also. What conclusion I had drawn is that the technology what these banks are accessing is an important role in expansion of Indian economy. It allows the transactions to happen at a faster pace and offers unparalleled convenience throughout the various delivery channels. It is an optionally leveraged technology to increase penetration, improve productivity and efficiency, delivers cost-effective products and services, provides all the services, the banking services at a faster, efficient and convenient customer service, and thereby contributing to overall growth and development of the country.
What was the research objective 1? Can you show on the slide? Research objective 1. So what was the first research objective?
To trace the growth and technological development in the Indian banking sector.
So this cannot be a research objective. This is a historical data.
It's
you
a
are
descriptive study.
You are tracking the growth and technological development, and that you have found. So this is not a research objective.
So this is a descriptive study which I have taken care of, wherein I have related the contribution of technology along with the services which are available under universal banking concept, looking at the demographic advancement which is happening, the services which are being made available, looking at the demands of the people across country.
Right. So your effort and your paper, this article or this text is good, but by definition it cannot be called as research paper. This can be a magazine article, this can be an essay, this can be a report, but this cannot be a research paper.
Descriptive study, sir?
Not descriptive.
Right, sir.
So, in research paper, you are required to have research objectives. Meaning thereby, you need to find out evidences from the sample and then you need to infer to the population. If you are able to do this, then this is a research. And then whatever you are documenting is a research paper. Otherwise, it is a magazine article.
So I have not taken the primary data into consideration. This is just the secondary data.
Let it be a secondary data.
Yes.
Let it be primary data. But the data or the sample has to be inferred for population. And then you can generalize the evidences thrown by the sample to population. Then it will become a research.
Yes, sir. But sir, over here I have just taken the technology from the banking point of view. Right now I have not taken the universal banking services which are being explored by the people, which obviously would be done through a questionnaire.
And how many banks have you chosen for your paper that you have presented today?
For this I have not, but otherwise for PhD study I have taken 25 banks.
This is a part of your PhD study,
yes, this is a part of my PhD study, because now I am taking into consideration 25 banks, wherein again I would be collecting the responses to 50 banks, wherein one bank located in a metropolitan and in a commercial area and one bank in a residential area. And then
the spread is through, it's an equal spread with nationalized and...
yes, ma'am. The BSE 100 Sensex.
It's equal distributed.
Yes, ma'am. All the banks which are there on BSE Sensex, so all those over there, there are 25 banks, 25 to 26 banks. All those I have taken into consideration. And
so
then
part of it you have just taken the effect of impact of technology on the banking sector.
Yes, ma'am, currently.
And you have showed the...
Yes.
You have given the conclusion on that basis.
Yes, ma'am.